God bless you, social media. Just wanted to share for a few minutes about the client. Sharing about the client. Nothing negative, nothing adverse, but this is just the truth telling you that there are things involved with the client. Folks, my goal from this presentation is to make sure that you're not in the same place next year at the same time. My goal is that you're not seeing the same old things coming to pass over and over again in your life. It's been said it's insanity to do things over and over and over again and to expect different results. I heard someone else say that if you want something that you've never had, invariably you'll need to do something that you've never done. So we're talking about the client. The client. Folks, all of us are looking for this thing called a place called there. We're looking to move higher. We're waiting to launch further. We're trying to raise our own personal platforms or maybe to launch a dream of ours. But folks, none of those will be achieved without you being dead set that you're in it and that your mind is set that you're here to climb. Folks, there'll be adversity. There'll be things along the way. There'll be things that you don't agree with. There'll be some broke days where your dreams seem to be broken. There will be days where it will seem like you've been dealt a bad hand in the game of life. But folks, if you're in it for the climb, you got to know that no matter how many times that you're knocked down, that you got to develop this resolve that I'm going to get back up. The scriptures declare that a righteous man falleth 7 times. And this 7 doesn't mean that he's only fell 7 times. 7 is a number that signifies completion. So metaphorically, you'll fall over and over and over again in life. But it's got to be your resolve that I'm getting back up for the climb. It's incumbent that we don't become stagnant, to become stifled, to become complacent at where we are right now. We got to know that we're in it for the climb. We got to know that we're going to do it for the climb. I mean, and I'm not talking about just this self-aggrandizing thing to where we're just selfish people and we're only in it for the climb, but for you to help your brother, for you to help your sister, for you to help your cousin Pookie, for you to help your best friend Ray Ray and his folks that you call Ray Ray now. You got to climb. Folks, there'll be other deterrents. There'll be people that want to keep you in the same spot, that want to keep you say, I like you just the way you are. And that doesn't mean that invariably you got to change, but you can't allow anyone else's expectations to keep you from the climb. You got to keep moving higher. You got to keep thinking further. You got to make sure that you're in to be better than you were on last year and better on next year than you are on this year, because you're in it for the climb. Folks, look, there is no limit to where you can go if you're focused, if you're prepared to work hard, if you develop some tenacity and persistence and some long suffering. Folks, the climb can be made possible. I don't care what depths you're starting from. You can be a million leagues under the sea and one day make it to the top of Mount Everest, as long as you remember that for the climb, it takes patience sometimes for the climb. It takes tenacity. It takes some chutzpah. It takes some, some grit and grind and everything else to make it. But you got to make sure that you're in it for the climb. Folks will talk behind your back. Climb anyway. Folks will spread lies. Climb anyway. Folks will say that you're changed and you're not the same. Keep climbing. Folks, sooner or later, you know, when you get to the end of your life and that Harvey team's working on you and they're pressing you and telling you to breathe, and then all of a sudden all of your life comes rushing right by your eyes, or your memory banks will be tested, and you'll take a retrospective look back at your life, and you'll look at each interval and each intersection of life, and you'll figure out that I've concentrated on so many things, but I wasn't in it for the climb. Because if you're in it for the climb, you can bless your children. The Bible says that a righteous man, a good man, leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So, folks, look, you got to be in it for the climb. Your cause needs to be bigger than you. Your cause needs to be greater than you. Your cause needs to be to change this world, to make this world a better place. But I want to explain that you got to be in it for the climb. While you're in it for the climb, folks are going to be squawking. While you're in it for the climb, a lot of them going to be talking. And some will not testify on you. They'll test a lie on you. But you stay in it for the climb. Be determined that you won't be stuck and stagnant and be living at the same place this year, that when God has called you to the heights, when God has called you higher, you haven't reached your apex. You haven't reached your nadir. You haven't yet seen your apogee. You haven't seen the zenith of the things that God intends for you. That God has some things He can do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think. But you got to be in it for the climb. While you're starting your climb, folks will laugh. While you're still walking into your climb, folks will say, give up. But you got to resist giving up. You got to resist caving in and quitting. You can't weary in well-doing. Folks, sooner or later, if you stay committed and you stay focused on this thing that we call the climb, your life will be blessed. Don't see the grave. Don't allow your greatness to go to the grave without knowing that you really tested the climb. Some folks are higher than you. Some folks have tested the heights. And the only reason why you have tested the heights, haven't tested the heights as of yet, is many times you've given up on the climb. The climb. Keep climbing. Keep pushing. Keep striving. Keep moving. And I promise you, my brother, I promise you, my sister, that if you don't give up, if you don't cave in, if you don't weary in well-doing, if you don't throw in the towel, your efforts towards the climb will bless your life. You should be able to tell somebody that you come back and see me next year, you won't find me in the same place. You'll have to look up, because I'm in it for the climb. Folks, look, you got to keep climbing. You got to keep moving higher. You got to keep working on your skill set. You got to keep widening, studying to increase your acumen. You shouldn't be complacent to stay at the same old place, seeing the same old things, talking with the same old folks to do, and get the same old results over and over again. Folks, you got to climb. Many times you got to burst through the heights. Many times you got to leap some hurdles and travel some winding roads and go through some disastrous curves. But what all that they bring in life, if you keep climbing, sooner or later you're going to make it to the place called there. Sooner or later you're going to look down on your life at how it used to be, and you'll bless God that He gave you not only the desire to climb, but He gave you the tenacity to keep working at it, to keep pushing, to keep striving, to keep starting over and over again, to keep moving and embrace the climb. Your life isn't meant to stay as it is right now. Be bold enough to climb. Be blessed.